why? Because that flowed effortlessly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like I've been here that long at all.
I don't know if anybody would want to watch us for 3 hours, but I think that...
I don't know, but I seen it early at 2:40 and I was like, fuck, I don't want to stop, but I need to leave. I got to be up for work in like 8 hours from now.
But yeah, the whole...
Would have been an issue if Rock wasn't taking me home tonight. I'm hitchhiking with Rock, so.
Were you West Frankfort?
Yeah.
So I do want to say something since we're talking about this, and I just want your opinion on it. It's weird, and I talked about it before a long time ago, and a lot of people on Facebook reached out and said it's not so weird. So I can't wear a watch.
Oh yeah, listen to this shit.
Does it run backwards?
No, it just stops.
My dad makes a Timex watch run backwards.
Okay, that is so weird. So because I asked,
never heard of this.
After she told me that she did it, I sent her a message, right? Because I was watching something on TV, and the lady said that her shit fucking stopped.
I can't wear a regular wind-up watch. I have to wear a digital watch because it never works.
I can't even wear a digital.
It stops. It doesn't go tick fast enough. It's because in those wind-up watches, they have a little bitty tiny crystal that wobbles and does shit like that, right? And they get it in magnetic. They got it working, right?
Yeah.
And
alien technology.
Your body has a certain amount of shit going on with it. It will fuck that up. It's so sensitive.
And do you want to hear what else? And he called me powder, and I laughed because if there's a storm coming, I can tell that there's going to be lightning hitting. I'll feel it in the hairs in my arms. And stuff.
You seen that movie Powder? You remember that movie?
It's weird. Or if I'm in a car and we're driving through a storm, sometimes I'm like, oh, because I could just feel that electricity in the air. It's weird.
You got the.
I would just stay indoors. You got a safe side.
Yeah, my dad is like that too.
For all we know, that's the people that get hit with lightning.
If he's got a good watch, like a Timex or whatever, that's crafted very well and very delicate and precise, it will literally stop and then start going backwards.
It's insane.
Your dad might be Satan.
Time travel.
That is, yeah. And when I did put that on
Time travel back in time. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Like I had like 17 people that either knew somebody or that happened to them. And I remember asking my doctor, and he was like, "You need to change the batteries." And I'm like, "No, that's not what's going on." I'm like, within an hour, my watch will stop.
Yep, I've heard of that before.
After I didn't hear it till she told me, and then like within a week or so, something on some rabbit hole.
My electronics teacher, whenever I was in electronics class in high school, was explaining to me how he had the worst arthritis pains, that the doctors couldn't help him, the surgery didn't help him, and then he went to this conference one time and they were selling these little bitty copper bracelets. They had a copper ball on each end and you just flip it on.
Yeah, I remember those.
He said it's the only thing that made his arthritis go away.
Yeah, I've heard.
You're the arthritis in his hands wearing that every day for years.
I need to get one because I got fucking my shit.
You have carpal tunnel.
Well, I got nerve damage too. It's my left hand, so it's not even the one I use.
He does the stranger a lot.
No. People's like, use your left hand like somebody else is doing. I'm like, yeah, somebody else that
sucks.
They
would
would
sell those on infomercials and shit, but you don't understand why they went bust because they're only meant for specific people. But they were selling just anybody. They said, no, it'll cure your arthritis.
You got AIDS? Buy this fucking bracelet.
People put them on going, this don't cure shit.
He swore up and down at work and we all was all like, that's bullshit. And he goes, watch this. He put 3 different empty, or one of them wasn't empty because it had the bracelet in it, on the ground. And mixed them up. And you know them witching sticks?
Yeah.
Okay, he just got 2 copper wires and then straightened them out into L's, and he goes, whatever box that's in, those will cross on. And he was not lying, they did.
Yeah.
The empty boxes, they stayed straight. As soon as you moved over the box, they would cross instantly.
So here's
something about your...
So here's something else that I can do. If there is, it's weird. If there is water running underneath the ground, because there was and I've done it several times, but there was a break in a main and water line, and I was in my apartment. Actually, I think I was dating Brandon, and I
Which
was
one?
like, number 2.
The English teacher? No way.
Number 2, and I kept on telling him. I was like, can you not feel that the floor, this room is vibrating? Can you not feel that? And he was like, you are insane. You smoking weed again? No. But and I mean, I kept on doing it, and I was like, I can't believe you can't feel that. Like the wall you can't feel that it's vibrating, and he was like, no. And I've done it several times, and there's water. There's water that's running underneath the ground, and I can feel the vibration of that water. that's under the ground. I think that's weird. And also,
eerie.
I was in a church one time, and there was a
Burned down.
it was an abandoned church, and there was a beehive
And she burnt it down.
underneath the floorboards, and I could feel the vibration of the bees.
Oh wow.
There was I know, it's
That's like
weird.
superpowers.
Don't get around the vibrator.
I mean, that's just weird.
Here from 3 blocks away.
It's just
You ain't
weird.
got to turn it on. She's getting off.
But I finally figured it out. I was like, oh, there's a beehive under here, and that is what I can feel the vibration of those bees. Oh, it's weird.
Bees nuts.
No, bees make honey.
Honey nut Cheerios.
Can you tell me honey nutted in the Cheerios?
In our second podcast, we had the Squatchers on.
Squatchers, yeah.
Yes. And so when Jody left, we had some paranormal shit go down in here.
What happened?
It's weird. Okay, so we're
Tiny Tim.
Yes. So we were talking about ghosts and stuff like that because I had said that, I'd always been into the occult since I was young and Coast to Coast AM and all that shit. And so I kind of brought that up in the beginning or whatever. And so we were talking about ghosts. And
You was here. Come verify the story, JD.
Yes, and JD's house is haunted, and so the house that I lived in Buckner is haunted, but it's like residual, like there's nothing smart going on. It's just like shadows that do the same exact thing over and over again. So I'm like, yeah, okay, your house is haunted. Okay, yeah, old houses are that way, got energy in them. But no, his house is like, fuck with you haunted, and it scares the shit out of my dog. My dog is terrified. She'll track it, and I've got video on my phone of my dog tracking whatever it is. And we were talking about shit like that to the guests that we had on, Jim and Joe, and that fucking jukebox, like we've been here 3 hours. That jukebox has not played any songs. There's not a free play. It's not kicked on. So we're sitting here, and a free play song popped on, and it was Tiny Tim
Tiptoe through the
Tiptoe
tulips.
Through the Tulips.
That's scary enough right there for that song just come on.
And it was loud as fuck,
When you said
too.
Tiny Tim, I said, surely it doesn't mean.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then directly after, we talked for less than 2 minutes. It was less than 120 seconds, I guarantee it. And it
That is
played
2
another
minutes.
one. It played another one, and it never does that. If it plays a free play song, it's hours before it plays another
Didn't you
one.
say it
I'm
played
a
something
bartender,
about
it does that.
a daddy?
Yes, he was talking about his dad, and Who's Your Daddy was the next song that played. Yes, it was scary.
Joe, they were like,
They were,
They
yes, they were so freaked out they
The
left.
Sasquatch hunters.
Yes.
Yes, because they
Sasquatch
don't,
will rip you apart, but
they
I
don't do ghosts.
But
or-
did you watch that episode?
I was watching it. I
They-
didn't like get into
They didn't believe in Sasquatch. They just went camping and hiking, and
One of them didn't.
they kept seeing and hearing shit, so they just wanted to make sure they weren't insane.
Their pictures are crazy.
So they they took shit to other people, be like, hey, look,
what the fuck's that?
yeah, I think I might be crazy. I'm gonna go out and take pictures of this fucking place and different shit.
Out of all the cryptids, the one I think has the most absolute credibility is Sasquatch.
Yeah, and what I think
I
about
think
that
none
is,
of the other ones are even close to being on the level of
Yeah.
well, if we're talking
just
about,
plausibility.
think about how the world got wiped out at 12,000 years ago. If there were things around that never got recorded, like
The
Sasquatch,
African mountain
shit
gorillas
like that.
weren't discovered until the late 18 or mid to late 1800s.
Yeah.
What is it?
African mountain gorillas that we know.
Yeah.
Because they lived way up in the mountains
Yeah.
with people, and they would just hear these
Yetis, basically.
Locals talk about
Local
"Oh, there's
yokel?
giant apes up there, and everybody's like,
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Nobody believed that they were even real. They didn't have any evidence of them. And I think what it was one of them had a fossilized hand, or not fossilized, but like a petrified hand or mummified hand
Turned to
or
an
something.
ashtray or whatever.
No, they kept it as like a token of like a religious token or something. And then like a scientist dude or something said, "What in God's name is that?" So they started taking it seriously. Maybe there are great giant apes up in those mountains. So they eventually
Yetis,
they
sure
go there
enough.
looking for them and they find them.
It's fucking Yeti, basically.
I mean, yeah.
Something that I don't know if you guys brought it up on the podcast or not, but something I always stuck with me that seemed plausible was he has this wide nose. He has a really, really wide nostrils, great big nostrils. I thought, it makes sense that he can smell things like metal, rubber, anything that's not natural. He can probably smell you from a mile away.
Right, and smell your fucking cameras out in the woods and shit.
It'd be really easy to avoid people because we don't go out there like cavemen. We have something artificial on us at all times. So if you wanted to avoid us, it wouldn't be that hard if you could just smell us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been proven that there was definitely big feet type stuff before here.
Yeah. Well, there's that
hominids. Hominids.
In New Mexico, I think they have this desert thing, which is in Ancient Apocalypse. I think it's on the first episode of the season 2 Ancient Apocalypse, where they got these footprints in the desert that are ancient, 10,000 years old at least, and they go layers and layers down because it was near a lake. And giant sloths would walk up to this lake, and mastodons, they have the footprints of a mastodon, and then a person walked through the footprints of the mastodon.
Oh, I have seen that.
And then they have footprints of where a person was walking and then set a kid down, and then picked the kid back up. Because their footprints were together, and then their footprints were not, and then their footprints were together again. And then later,
I've seen the human footprints.
You can tell by the way the human footprints were eroded a little bit that there was a lion stalking.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's wild as fuck. And then they're digging these up, and they go like layer down and layer down and layer down. They're like this fucking deep, and they're like, here's the footprints that we see on the top that the weather naturally eroded the top of the stuff away, and you can see it. So we started digging down, and it goes down. People have been coming to this motherfucking lake that's not there no more for a long time. People just carrying the kids there like, oh, stay away from the giant sloth, you know.
What was the place you said earlier? Tepe?
Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah, I just watched some shit on that yesterday.
Dude, that's a fascinating.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
you could make just as educated of a guess as the fucking professionals who are out there doing it, because no one knows anything about it.
12,000 years.
They tried to hire me to make a diorama of that.
Dude, it's fucking cool.
And we couldn't get to the price. He was like, I really wish I could. But I can't.
Hang on, isn't that the place that they quit excavating? Because people are coming and paying money and shit to get there?
Exactly. Same. Back to the pyramids rich guy thing, right? I don't think Göbekli Tepe was made because a rich guy said to make it. From what I understand is that was made at the end of a civilization, not people just starting out learning how to do it.
Right.
Because they built it.
They were there. They sat there.
They were already good at doing that, or what we would see would have been worse. So,
and there's like 5% or something that's uncovered.
5% of it's uncovered, and they're not even gonna.
So you're saying the things that they built before that?
No, these things are all standing up. What I seen, they were saying that they covered it up because if it was mudslides, it would knock them over and
yes.
shit.
They intentionally filled this bitch up and buried it 10,000 years ago.
Yep. Which is weird in its own.
Well, and it's got like animals on it.
Yes.
And it's got things, and there's these circles with pillars on them, and each pillar has different like art on it, and like, it's explaining different things, and they can't tell if it's like talking about constellations or if they're saying they were just literally looking over there.
Right.
And saying, okay, there's a boar, drop it by the water, do this, and then we're going to teach you about how hunting. But
is it the George Papanopoulos or whatever that guy's name is? That's like Alien.
No,
George
that's Ancient Alien.
Yeah. With the big hair and shit.
Yeah.
I ain't saying it's aliens, but it's
Giorgio Tsoukalos or whatever his name is. No, it's not that guy.
Who's the one dude that goes with Bob Lazar and all that?
Oh yeah, he's cool.
No, there's another guy that I believe in this shit that he's saying, but when he says it, I'm like, I don't believe you.
No.
I don't believe you.
Bob Lazar, I believe that way back when he was on Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Man, he's like a big, whenever
Bob Lazar.
Joe Rogan had a few times, when he had the Navy guy on it singing the shit that was on the radar and all that.
Yeah. I see that one.
Okay, well that guy was there, and like, I believe that in some of this shit, but when he says it, I'm like, I don't believe you, dude. Like he's riding the fucking coattails details
Yeah.
of this shit, like Tom DeLonge or something. I'm just like, I don't believe you.
Oh yeah, he does do that.
Like you're discrediting everything he says because you're saying it now.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Anyway, with Göbekli Tepe, like, you're looking at this place and it's not been completely excavated and there's still questions, and they've just decided out of nowhere
To stop excavating it.
we're not going to the future 150 years
Yeah, that's what I
from
said.
now
Yeah.
we're going to let people do
Yeah,
that.
we're going to stop excavating until 150
Everyone
years.
in the world is like, fuck no, you
When we
think
got
this is
better
mine.
technology, we'll let them do it.
Like, what are we doing wrong now is my question. What have they fucked anything up? No, they ain't broke a pillar, they ain't messed anything
But they can't
up.
make money off of it if people can't come there now. So that's what they're doing.
Same with the pyramids. Why is there big speculation and mystery about the pyramids? Why don't Egyptologists want everybody to know what's going on with the pyramids? Because people ain't going to come look at them and wonder anymore.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Why don't they? They're supposed to be this.
Well, if I knew, I would still go look at
Yeah,
it.
me too.
Exactly.
I would want. That's why I'd go there for that. Yes,
Even
yes,
more.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
I think the guy that is this Zahi Hawass is the guy that is overdoing all the stuff in Egypt. And he was kind of a gatekeeper for a while. Didn't want people to.
I think you'll say something else. You said gatekeeper.
and then basically, I think he's starting to realize, man, maybe I should let the woo people hear more, because everybody that learns about the pyramids, they're fascinated with it because they have the woo factor. And the more they learn about it, the less they have the woo factor, but the more beautiful it is to them. Because they realize that people fucking did this, not a goddamn alien. And for
What about the
longest-
crystal skulls?
Those are just crystal skulls. They're not perfect. No, they're not perfect. You can see where people have carved them.
Oh, I thought they said that they couldn't tell that somebody.
Yeah, that depends on who you ask.
Dan Aykroyd was on Joe Rogan like a few years ago, and he's talking about it, and I was all like, it was before like whatever, and I was all like,
Dan's a wild man.
I was all like, dude, he believed in everything, everything. He was all like, oh yeah, that's real, and I was all like, I love Dan Aykroyd, but I was like, everything you say, I discredit it now.
I've seen him tell stories about being followed by men in black and shit.
Yeah.
Personally.
But with the pyramids, there's supposed to be this hidden room in the pyramids, and why don't they open it? Because they want to keep the mystery there. They want people to be mystified and wonder. Well,
I don't either.
Like Jimmy Corsetti said on Joe Rogan, dude, that would be a pay-per-view thing that the whole world would watch, opening a room in the pyramid.
Do you guys remember Geraldo and the Al Capone vault? It was like hours of shit, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Dude, people would still love to see that for the first time ever,
Yeah.
you know?
Nothing
Like-
in there.
Even
But
if
for
there's
something, I know
nothing.
what he's saying, for something like that, like a hidden chamber in the pyramid, even if there's nothing in there, it would still be like, whoa.
Yeah.
History-making type stuff, yeah.
Because there's nothing really in the pyramid anyways.
Somebody needs to get a hold of Geraldo.
There's a cartoon
Geraldo.
they found.
Rico Suave.
Says Khufu or Khafre or whatever, but that was during the
And
time.
they said that was put in later.
They think that the guy that got in there and discovered it put it in there to say that, yeah, I'm agreeing with the Egyptologist. This is totally Khafre's pyramid or whatever. They think that he might have did that and maybe put that iron plate that they found.
Coffee.
Yeah. But no mummy has ever been found in any pyramid in Egypt.
No, because that's bullshit.
And there's some of them got writing. Some of the different dynasty versions, the ones that look really shitty on the outside look really nice on the inside. They got like beautiful star patterns on the ceilings and stuff and things like that. But they've never found a mummy in a pyramid.
What's the one dude's name? Brian. He's a big Anunnaki dude. He's a black dude. Brian.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Carson.
Yeah.
Billy Carson.
Billy Carson.
I think he.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, he's full woo. He's 100% aliens fucking did it and they're God and
Oh, he goes.
he'll go. He's got this crazy. He's an expert on the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah.
he is an expert on the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah, he fucking.
But after the layer of that, he goes straight to ancient aliens. He's like,
Yeah, like everything.
what you think is God is actually Satan because they
Yep, yep,
If God
yep.
says that He's not going to interfere with man, then why is God coming up and talking to these people? Why is God doing this? Why is God doing that? That's all shit that Satan was allowed to do. The person that you worship as God is actually Satan.
Satan, yeah,
That's
Satan's
what
God.
That's what you were talking about.
But no, what I seen that from was a totally different dude.
Oh.
Like years ago. That was the guy that was talking about the non-inner monologue people.
Oh, right on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've looked into that.
Dude, that's freaky.
It's like half the population.
Yes. And I had no idea. I had no idea.
Inside your head.
If you have no inner monologue, hit me up and come on the show. I want to pick your brain.
Well, it'll be hard, but
Yeah, because somebody was like, there's no such thing as intrusive thoughts. But if I say blue, I see already, in my mind, I've already see blue. You know what I mean?
These motherfuckers can't read without going.
Yeah,
Because they can't see words or hear.
I don't understand how they sit there and think about stuff. How do they talk? How do they figure? How do
That's what I want. That's what I want to know. Jade.
Yeah, I know.
She has no inner monologue. I've seen her post that on her Facebook.
But I just don't understand how you can't have inner thoughts.
Me neither. Well, it's not inner thoughts.
It's not inner thought.
It's you don't have a voice in your head.
Talking to yourself.
Then how do you figure things out, though?
Well, these people that this guy had, he said, "Okay, I want you to picture an apple in your head." And they're like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Just picture an apple in your head." They're like, "We can't do that." Like, what? Really? So that's why I want to pick someone's brain who has no inner monologue and be like.
So that's like they could get lost walking down the road because they can't mentally picture things like the stop sign that they see.
It's not that specific.
That's how I feel.
What they're saying is just like half the population.
Yes, 50%.
And we never realized it as civilization because we never dove into this sort of. What do you mean?
Everybody here can see things in their head, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see.
I know you can.
I am all imagination. That's all I am,
What
dude.
if there's an artist that has been like this that just free draws and shit comes out?
Well,
Like,
here's the thing. Jade was at Sugar Creek one year, and I was playing bass and all that shit, and she come up and tried to do a freestyle rhyme, right? And then I seen like months later she posted she has no inner monologue, so I was all like, so I come up with the fucking stand-up joke. I know a girl that has no inner monologue. She's a freestyle rapper. If the room ain't full of shit, you ain't getting 16 bars out of her. Because she has to see shit so I can talk about it, right?
that's funny.
So when I do stand up, I got to do a whole bit. I got to talk to the crowd about, you guys got inner monologue and all that before I do that joke. Because most people have no idea what it is.
I just heard about it probably 6 or 8 months ago.
Okay, I've known about it
I've heard about it
right before I moved in with you, man. So it's been like 3 years ago.
I've known about that for a long time. I just can't wrap my head around it.
Me neither.
Just
I'm
like-
all inner monologue.
Just like we can't wrap our head around another dimension
True.
because we're not there to understand it, like a color that we've never seen. How are you going to describe a color you've never
Right.
seen to somebody else?
Purple.
You can't. You can't.
Or red.
But
I want to see a color I've never seen.
Ooh,
That
me
would be
too.
cool.
you would have to get different rods and cones in your
That's
eyes.
what Color Out of Space, and Mercy
Awesome.
Annihilation with Natalie Portman. It's a Lovecraftian story.
No, with the shimmer?
Yeah.
That's a good fucking movie, dude.
The reason it's called The Color Out of Space is
That's a
because
good movie.
In the
No, Color Out of Space is a different movie.
I know, but it's the same Lovecraftian story.
Okay. That's Nicolas Cage.
A meteor that comes down. And
That's Nicolas
this color
Cage.
starts affecting the DNA of everything around it. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Okay.
But in the literature, the color is described as a color that doesn't exist in our spectrum of colors. Nobody can really describe it.
Yeah.
But it is a color.
Yeah.
But it's not green. It's not red. It's not this. It's
It's
not
not
that.
ultraviolet. It's not whatever.
But try now. Just think.
Oh,
Try
that's
to
crazy.
imagine a color that doesn't exist. You can't
That's
do it.
crazy.
Yep.
When I was a little kid, I used to lose sleep because I grew up Christian, right? So I'd be sitting there trying to think about what was going on before God created everything. And it would fucking blow my mind. So like, all right, is he just sitting there with nothing? Is he in a room? What's going on?
Well, this fucks me up a lot when thinking about stuff like that because let's say you got this cup and you take all the cigarette butts and water and shit out of it and you seal it. What's in there? Air.
Air.
Okay. Take all the air molecules out. What's in there?
Air, because that's the way it
Space.
works.
No, you make it a pure, straight vacuum. There's no air.
Hang on, now I've seen them talk about this on something before, and they said they did this.
But it's still something. It's
Yes,
space.
yes.
There's still-
Because it goes back in there, because that's the way this matrix
The
works.
fabric of space-time is still in there.
Yep.
Okay, well, that means the laws of physics are in there. That means gravity is affected in there. There
Yep.
might not be mass that has gravity in there, but
There's
you
probably
can
some-
never have truly nothing
Yes.
because imagine everything that was like the world in space-time is allowing the train tracks of this cord to be in this space right here, right?
The matrix.
Well, the thing that is allowing that to be there is there. It's
Yeah.
like the train has to have tracks to go on. Well, the universe is saying, hey, it is possible for anything to happen in this piece of space, so we gotta like basically map out everything that could happen in this piece of space. It's called quantum tunneling or something where everything in the fabric, like this is solid because all the pieces of mass are close enough together, our hand doesn't pass through it, right? Well,
Knock on wood.
there are the particles of this, but they are quantumly entangled with another thing opposite somewhere in the universe, wherever they're connected. It could be here, it could be in another galaxy, it doesn't matter. You can get them close together and entangle them and send them to another universe, another galaxy, and then tweak it, and then the thing will show up on the other verse instantaneously without no lines between it. And they're like, how? That means there has to be some quantum mathematics allowing a bridge between them in the fabric of the universe. Everything we see, every matter, every law of physics, every bend of gravity that's coming around stars is everything.
And that's why I love the.
That's why you can't have nothing in something.
That's why I love
So we're like,
the movie.
fuck.
I love the movie, The Wasp, and the. What was that movie that we watched, JD?
Ant-Man and Wasp?
Ant-Man and Wasp, because they go down and they get into the small. I fucking love that
I
movie.
ain't seen it. I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, it's so good. I just like it because I like the visuals of like what you're saying, and everything's connected or whatever, and you can go to another. I don't know. I fucking.
Well, have
dig
you heard
shit.
that on Animals?
Quantum Mania.
And then they do the different multiverses, and some of them they fall through flatlanders, and that's like where it's 2D instead of 3D, And then there's some universes that have 4D, but the flatlanders, like you can't have your hand. If you put your fingers in there, all they see is circles. They can't see because it's flatlanders.
Imagine if you was on a piece of paper, right? Like this guy right here. And you only live inside of the thin plane that's in there. Like you can't see around. A ball showing up in your universe would just be a thin line that got wider and wider and wider and wider, and then started getting smaller. It's because the ball, as it come through, it would pass through, and that's where the small and then the line, boom. So imagine a 2D thing trying to imagine us. They don't understand the dimensions outside.
Like we don't understand 4D.
We live in 4D. Time is the fourth dimension.
All right, 5D.
We can't, we can barely comprehend 4D, because can you imagine as I move my arm like this, but you don't see the time frame where my arm used to be.
When I was tripping, I did. It's called tracers.
That's different. So, we're in space on a fucking ball, and it's floating around the sun, and it's doing
At
this.
7,000 miles
and
per
the
hour.
sun, it's not exactly sitting in the middle. Everything in the universe moves the sun's gravity a little bit. So the sun is wobbling like this.
Yeah.
And we are going around it while it's wobbling like that. The sun is also moving through the fucking outer spiral arm of the galaxy while it's doing that. And it is moving up and down in the galaxy, waving up and down on the sphere of the disk of the galaxy as it does that. Right? Up and down the whole time. The galaxy is moving through space.
Have you guys ever seen the actual planets and shit? Like a graph of how they
That's
do?
what I'm talking
It's
about.
fucking insane.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's not just like going around the state. It's fucking fucked
it
up.
is.
Dude, and okay,
insane.
so the galaxy is moving through space. So, everything is fucking moving.
Yeah.
You look at other stars, they're flying somewhere. Maybe not even the same fucking direction, but
Right.
everything in our corner of the cosmos, all of our galaxies, so it's planet, or it's room, building, town, state, planet, we're on the planet, and then there's our solar system, and then there is our little section of the galaxy, which there's a group of, then there's a group of galaxies called the local group, right? Then we're in the Virgo supercluster of galaxies. Well, that also has a whole there's a massive one that one's a part of.
Right.
And then there's filaments of galaxies that kind of connect to other big superclusters of galaxies. And all of that shit is moving to something.
Yeah.
It's called the Great Attractor, and they don't know what it is. They literally just can't see and I think it's the collective gravity of everything pulling itself. Everything, you're coming with me, we're going here.
But hang on, I thought the universe and everything was going out.
It's expanding.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean the matter within the expansion can't be coalesced together.
I got you.
That's why I like that meme. And it's like a little person and it's all worried. and then it's like it's okay
We're
because you're
here.
this dot. Like,
Yeah.
fucking worry
Yeah.
about that shit.
Yeah.
You guys remember the Hitchhiker's Guide, right?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Well, they send
Thanks for all the fish.
they send a Zaphod. I don't know, it's not in the movie or anything. It's in the books. They send Zaphod to that hell planet.
Yeah.
Where they're supposed to, and he's supposed to endure the most torturous thing that a mind can come up with. What it is, the torturous thing, is this one machine or something that shows you the entirety of the universe. It shows you every planet, everything, all of it at once, that your mind can understand it, along with a tiny little dot that says you are here.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to just make a mind explode.
Yeah. Well, it's like
That's where that meme came from then.
It's like whenever the astronauts went out to the moon the very first time,
Allegedly.
and they turned back and they looked at the planet and they were like, "Where's this fucking out here? Holy shit!" And Carl Sagan with the pale blue dot thing, when he does his little monologue, like every king you've ever heard of, every dollar, every person, every family member, every piece of land, every war, everything is on this tiny little fucking mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam, floating through space. We truly are out here alone. Even if there are aliens in the next galaxy over or the next fucking star over,
Or the next dimension.
they're not helping us.
There's no way that there's not life somewhere else. I don't believe it.
I don't know. I thought I met the tall whites.
there's-
at a
Whether it be a
concert.
fungus or something, there's something out there, man. I don't know.
There's a theory, the more religious side, devil's advocate. The more religious side comes off and says, no, this is how much God loves us. This is how,
Right.
This is
so
how
special.
special this planet is, how special we are. It requires this entire universe of all of these things to function.
Just
Even
so we
though
can be here?
They're not in the tail of it. Just to make this one thing happen, this one planet, perfect distance from the sun, and all these things. That's where they come at it from.
Yeah.
They think, no, there's not a life out there. That's there to make sure that we can exist.
But there's things like the moon's getting farther away from Earth. That's gonna, in
Yeah, the moon.
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of years, that's gonna fuck Earth because
Well,
we're
it's a
gonna,
big clock that's moving, but it has to be moving in order for us to function, in order for us to have seasons.
So-
and all that.
right. But the moon helps the fucking ocean stay in and all that shit. So whenever it gets so
Sort of.
far away, we're gonna have some fucking
We're gonna have lots
Weather.
of time. So we got Earth.
crazy weather.
And there, let's say pre-Earth, a long time ago, it was called Theia, I think, or maybe the sister, something about size of Mars,
That is Earth without the R in it, ain't it?
smashed
Yeah.
into Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And it started, and it sent a bunch of stuff out, and it was floating around, and then it slowly coalesced, and that became
I
the
think
moon.
that was but if I'm not mistaken, I think people are saying it's debunked now because they can work out the mathematics of that right down to the point of impact, and then the mathematics all fall apart. I don't understand it, but that's what they're saying about that
Well,
theory.
that could just be because they don't have a good enough computer to do it
Yeah,
yet.
that-
That's my thing. Is like they ask these big questions about the universe. It was like, the answer to dark matter and string theory and da 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 da. I'm like,
Isn't string theory sort of out the door now?
it's been out the door for a long time. I think
And that was a big
for the
trend
same
like a
thing.
decade.
We're just not smart enough to fucking do it. Like we ain't there yet. We have stumbled on a question that we can't answer.
It goes back to consistently wrong.
We're not smart enough. Yeah, and that's where like it brought it back at the beginning of the podcast. People don't accept that whenever we come up with something and say, "Hey, this is what we know right now," they're just like, "Okay, that's how it is." From
Yeah,
now
yes,
until on.
yeah,
They can't
yeah.
be like, "Okay, that's how it is for now."
For
until
now.
they find out more.
Yeah.
Like, if you've ever worked on a car or something or anything, electronics or a popsicle stick house, anything,
Popsicle stick out.
you know that you're gonna go in there with a way in your mind, and then you're gonna realize you was fucking wrong. Like if you're going on a date, and you know exactly how you're gonna ask these questions and what's going on, and it's gonna be perfect, and then
It is the opposite.
it doesn't happen because one little tiny thing threw a wrench in
Yeah.
that's plan. Like
Yeah.
instead of seeing her sitting there and the
Everybody
thing
got-
da 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 da,
everybody's got a plan until they get hit.
you see somebody you didn't know and you're standing there talking to him, and then she walks up to you and says, "Wow, was you gonna leave me here?" And then you're like, "Boom! Oh fuck, my whole plan just got derailed."
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Same type of shit like that.
That's why you got to go in with no plans.
Go in with no plans and no expectations of how it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quote gets credited to Tyson, but it's actually a really, really old quote from Prize Money. It says everybody's got a plan until they get hit.
Yeah.
Punched in the
Yeah,
face.
punched in the face, yeah.
Punch in the mouth, maybe,
Same
yeah.
thing. And I don't remember where I was going with it. Where was we at?
I think you were starting a cult.
Yeah, you're right. No.
Goonies always say die.
Oh man, we was talking about.
What is with the Goonies and Harrisburg thing?
Okay, so
Nobody's ever explained it to me.
Oh, really?
basically,
And I
we
have
have
no
the
idea.
Goonies. It says Tribe Life on the Goonies Never Say Die shirt. Oh.
I've got
Tribe life!
I've got a sticker in my bathroom
So
and
Josh
on the
was
front
really
of my
into it.
door.
And I just noticed everybody in here calls
Goonies.
themselves Goonies. What the hell is that about?
Well, it's
And
not
then
just
there's
a
the
Harrisburg thing. It's
Midwest
just it's
Freaks.
people that
Festival
Like the
thing.
people.
have been going to these music. One day we went to go see a band called Aaron Cam, and we made a Facebook group to see all of the people. Are you guys going to go? It's at this time. Who needs a ride? Who's riding with who? Shit like that. And it was
Is
like
that the Goonies chat?
Yeah, and it was like 5 or 10 people just made a little chat, and then it slowly grew
Hundreds.
to this. We had to make a Facebook page because we couldn't keep track of the chat any longer, and we all go to the music festival scenes. We always like it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and now we have a Facebook page. It's the Goonies. And
It was single digit at one
When
time.
Josh was doing our sound for Entropy, I made this or as a Chester Copper Cop. I gave it to Josh. What does Josh like? Well, the only thing I know that Josh for sure that Josh likes, he likes Goonies. We'll do something Goonies for him.
And we called it that because we were just a group of friends like the Goonies. We're goofy,
The Goons.
misfit, ragtag.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
motherfuckers.
Goonies in the movie are named after the Goon Docks, which is
Yeah.
So docks in Harrisburg.
Yeah, there was
We're just a bunch of goons.
Whenever Sugar Creek had the music festival in Harrisburg at the Hog Rock Campground, there was a specific area where all of us got to camp because the person who threw the music festival knows us. And he was like, dude, all you guys can camp in this spot. It's designated Goonies Camp. And there was a little sign that said the Goon Docks.
The Goondocks.
Yep.
That's cool. Okay, now I know. Okay.
Yep, we're just...
All right, back to the evil. Where were we with the dawn of existence?
I don't
Yeah, we
remember
are really
exactly-
deep
The
into that
Goonies
too.
question has been answered.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were talking about with the space thing. I know we were all floating toward the Great Attractor.
Yeah, and shit was going
Oh, the
on.
the moon going around. Well, you might be right about that thing. I haven't seen that yet, but they said that the moon had hit, and then most of it got absorbed, and what's left became the moon.
Oh, there's like 3 main theories. I don't know.
There's a
them right
couple of
offhand.
them.
One of them's the
That would explain
asteroid belt.
That would explain why the moon is slowly going
One
away
of them-
because it
one of
came
them
in
was-
and then is
One of them
flinging
was
its way back out.
during like when Earth was still molten, just
Yeah.
a big molten ball.
Yeah.
They say it kind of split apart like a
Because it
lava
was
lamp.
spinning.
And yeah,
But that's where the other hit could have also made sense. They said instead of it just spinning and flinging out
I know the rogue planet one, and I know the molten one, and I think there's a third theory too. That's really
There's a couple of them. I've seen a couple of them, but the Mars-sized object hitting the pre-proto Earth is the big
I think
one.
that's the most accepted.
And it, for some reason, it just triggered whenever it was talking about 200,000 years ago. There were modern people like there are now. There just wasn't modern technology.
or was there?
Well, or was there's exactly right, because if something wiped everybody out 20,000 years ago, we wouldn't see any evidence of
No,
it now. If it was
no.
metal, it would have degraded. The only thing that's left over is stone, which was why the Sphinx could be way
Wasn't the beginning of the last ice age the population of the planet down to like 25,000 people?
very small number.
Yeah, it was
Very,
incredibly
very small number. Just from what we understand.
Just what we understand from human genealogy.
People are worried about global warming and the fact that our planet's getting hot and all of our ice is going to melt. And that's not going to be the apocalypse, the end all of civilization and
No.
life on this planet. You know what's scarier? Snowball Earth. You didn't think about that, did you?
Snowball
Imagine
Earth.
that the ice age didn't come back around and it just kept getting colder and the ice poles connected If those ice poles would have ever connected for any significant amount of time, no life would have ever came back on Earth. And it's snowballed Earth a couple times.
Oh, shit.
It's terrifying.
That's why we're in a Goldilocks zone. I don't believe there's not another planet out there that's not in a Goldilocks.
There's lots of planets that are in the Goldilocks zone.
That's why I
They're
don't.
just too small for us to see them.
I just don't believe that there's not something out
They
there.
see big planets on the outside of solar systems because, like, you got the sun and then a big planet passes in front of it and then the light gets dim. Well, the little bitty planets like Earth that are up there when they pass in front of it, that's like a significant amount of dimming.
It's not blocking it, right?
Another
Yes.
thing that the religious say, I remember a pastor telling me this when I was really young, like 8 or 9. He was like, well, I don't remember what he was talking about, but he's like, an interpretation of something God said in the Bible about, yeah, there is life out there, but it's so far away, neither one of you will ever meet, will ever see each other. Don't worry about it. I'm talking to you guys right here. Don't worry about them.
That's Bob's project.
That's another way of looking at it that religious people describe.
And see, something I don't understand about if they're the alien, whatever, is people be like, religion would fall apart if aliens showed up. I'm like, why? If God created everything, would he not create the aliens and the other fucking planets and all that shit too? So
Yeah, but you know what?
why would it be a big deal?
Why would there be?
That's why there's an Old Testament and a New
That's
Testament.
right.
Why would there be?
That's people, I think.
All of these sightings of cryptids and aliens and like people that never met one another and for hundreds and thousands. Some of that goes back centuries
Oh,
with
yeah.
Bigfoot,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some think it's the giant Pithecus or whatever. Gigantic Pithecus, right? They think that it's that, and it may very well be, but I don't think so. I'm more of the woo. I'm more on the woo side of it. I think it's more supernatural than.
Well, you know how I said about how I reprogrammed my brain and shit, right? And that's one of the things is, I don't know why, but for some reason, I want the Anunnaki to be true, and I don't know why. I have no idea why. I want there to be aliens, and I don't know why.
Same.
I don't know why.
I want it to
Just
be
opens up
that.
more questions.
Yeah, but I don't know
Believe
why.
them.
I want it, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I want it to be that aliens built the pyramids. It's just that since I want it, I know it's not true.
Yeah, but
I know
It's like-
it was
it's
just
like I don't know-
dudes worked really fucking hard.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't know why I want it though. I
What
don't know why I
about
want that to be true.
what about
Fancy.
like stories?
Because it's nice to think that, man, if there are
Stories that
aliens out
match,
there that
like
can
the
build
flood
pyramids
stories,
for us, that whenever it gets
civilizations.
really scary here, they're going
Flood
to
Dragons are-
stories.
blanket
dragons
over
are
safe.
I don't think they're going to. If there
Everybody
is,
has
they
dragon
wouldn't.
stories.
They don't give a fuck about
That's
us.
true.
The dragons thing is fun, as you talk about dragons, right?
I was just mentioning stuff that all around the world people still come up with these things
Well,
that have no
if
context.
you looked at the first depictions of when people said dragons, they were big, crazy-looking, feathery, fucking crazy fuckers. And well, now look at the evolution of dinosaurs.
Right,
from
they got
of our
feathers now.
understanding. They went from a shitty little lizard
Yeah.
to a big scary lizard to a big scary lizard with feathers, and they
Feathers.
kind of look like they did back in the day. And I'm just thinking, man, I want it to be that no, the dinosaurs didn't fully die off, and people could see what was left over of them
Right.
in the early history time.
Oh, I think it's bones. I think you can still go into the Badlands of Montana's now and see bones that are not buried in the rock. They're
Yeah.
sticking out of the
Yeah.
rock. That's how they find them.
Yeah.
Have you
So I
seen?
think
Or at least the fossils.
that ancient people could come along with a giant jawbone or something. What
Yeah.
the
Have you
hell?
seen?
They thought they were
It
giant
must have
people.
looked like this.
When they first found them, they thought like T-Rex bones were giant people bones.
Have you seen the photos?
They thought cyclopses were elephant skulls.
Yeah.
They found elephant skulls and it had this big hole right in the middle, and they're like, "Oh, it's a giant with one eye."
Have you seen the picture of like when they first found dinosaur bones? They threw it together.
Yeah.
It looks so ridiculous, dude.
There's
It's
a
so
Red Dead
ridiculous.
Redemption 2 about that.
Yes,
There's
there is.
a wild side mission of this crazy lady who wants you to find dinosaur bones. And
shit.
if you find them all,
I hate
through the
that
game,
mission.
you'll get the cutscene of her in her barn. And
Did-
she's made this monstrosity of the thing.
Doesn't Red Dead have Sasquatch in it too?
Red Dead, the Undead Nightmare does.
Yeah, so that's the zombie one, right?
Yeah.
That had the Sasquatch in it.
I never played the first one, but yeah, Red Dead, Undead Nightmare has
How many they got?
a chupacabra
3?
you can hunt,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
these other things.
Is there 3? I only know of 2.
There's Red
There's
Dead
3 counting
Redemption.
Red. There's 3 counting Red.
Then
Dead.
there's Red
Okay.
Dead 2. There's the Red Dead Undead, and then there's Red Dead Online.
online.
Which is you just play with other people in the Wild West.
I've never done
If
it.
you're fucking doing a goddamn mission, people and their posse can walk up and cap your ass and take your shit.
The funny part is you're meant to take this lady seriously the whole time, like she's building this dinosaur. You don't look at the bones, and you're not putting them together. She's like,
then
they all laughed at me, but I'm going to show them. I just need these bones and this bones. And you're supposed to take her, and you expect to see a T-Rex or something.
I'll have to go watch that video on it.
It's just ridiculous.
I'm about to check that out.
That's funny.
Yeah, so what about like eyewitness stories or people that are on their deathbed that come forward and say, this happened to me, and it's talking about something that...
Take anything that comes out of a human being's mouth with a grain of salt.
How I look at it, I think I've done DMT. I've seen fucked up shit I cannot
I've
explain.
met crazy people.
And if I didn't know that I had done DMT and what it does to your brain when you take it, I would have probably thought I seen God too. And whenever you die, your brain creates DMT and just floods your brain with it
Yeah.
to make it okay that you're dying. It's all
Yeah.
like, shit's bad, just pump the DMT in there so they're like
Yeah.
happy chemicals, right?
Yeah.
So it could be
What about
whatever your
people
brain
who?
puts together.
What about people who die? That like my aunt, she was a nurse. She retired. She's a retired nurse, but she was like, people on their deathbed were pointing at the floor at demons and stuff, trying to take them away and saying they're trying to take me down.
I've heard the opposite too. I've heard family members.
Yes, family members come.
Well, I'll tell you
and
what.
that could be like just flooding your brain. And
Right,
being
DMT
like,
comes out. I was there when my dad passed, and he looked past me and he goes, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. So he seen something. He's like, oh shit,
That's how
oh
I
shit,
felt the first
oh
time I
shit.
did DMT because it was like, oh shit, oh what the fuck am I looking
I
at?
never. See, I don't have the balls to do it. I don't have the balls to.
And it's not like, if you drink ayahuasca, it could be a 4-hour thing.
And you poop and puke yourself
You
the whole
can.
time.
You don't. That's not guaranteed, but you can.
Yeah.
But if you smoking DMT,
These are kind of
it's
new
like
things.
10
When
minutes.
I was a kid, it was peyote. Was the,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like that.
I gotta see. Oh, yeah. All right.
It says it's from like
It's a unicorn.
1663, but I only found so many bones that it's like, we're going to put it together. I don't think it'll show it.
Yeah.
Turn it slightly.
There you go, I do see it. There you go.
It's like a tripod.
Skeleton of a woolly man.
Well, I don't know who's going to be watching this. Like 3.5, 4 hours.
So,
into the
I
file.
know, and if you've made it this far, you
part
should,
2.
Yeah, you should just be hanging out with us if
Yeah.
you've made it this far.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah.
I'll have to shut it down though, probably.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody knows, like, how long you have to watch a podcast for it to be counted as viewed. Do they just have to click on it first? Really?
Yeah, I think so.
It's just a couple minutes.
But
Really?
it also shows you how long people have watched into it before
Yeah.
they clicked off.
Okay,
Where?
I don't know
Where's
how to
that
see
at?
any of
You gotta go
that.
into your settings.
I've heard
and
on
find it.
YouTube. I've heard YouTubers talk about that.
Yeah, you got to get into your.
I'm gonna have to go to a
Right.
tutorial to try to figure it out.
Minutes into my videos, I've heard them say that.
Yeah. Or everybody that watches my videos is not subscribed, and you should subscribe if you watch this many of my damn videos.
Yeah.
But it also tells you in the bar, like, most watched spot and things.
Really?
Like that. Oh, yeah.
We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. I don't care if people watch it all or what. I mean, whatever. People tune in. Good.
I'm
Awesome.
a little bit shocked that we've gotten that many views and we
Yeah.
just started it.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
We're just
It
like,
won't give you money until you've got 4,000 hours of watch time or
Really?
something like that.
I'm not even trying to get money, but okay.
And 1,000 subscribers.
Now that you bring it up.
yeah.
You gotta have 1,000 subscribers, you gotta have 4,000 hours of watch time or some shit like that. I don't remember what it is. So
Thank you, whoever's watching this. Thank you.
long form podcasts.
Comment down below.
Get that 4,000 hours or whatever the amount of hours it is faster because people watch a long podcast from beginning to end. If they
That's
watch,
the way
they'll watch the whole thing.
When I'm in my studio, when I'm working, most people listen to the radio while they work or something like that. I usually got something running. So
Yeah.
I can glance up every now and then, but it's something I can just sit and listen to for a long time. I don't have to, when it's over, stop and look for something else.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Joe Rogan podcast and Lex Friedman and stuff like that because they got long ones.
Yeah.
If I'm cleaning the house
Right.
or I'm working on
If
something.
I'm just
it's-
scrolling, I'm mostly looking at time frames.
Right.
Oh, there's a 40-minute one. Let's grab that 40-minute one.
Yeah.
I'll listen to them when I'm trying to go to sleep and shit. So I'm all like, yeah, I don't want to have to come up and
My problem with watching certain things when I go to sleep is
I get
Me
interested.
too, me too.
Yeah,
I
Me
have,
too.
to, I have to put on like a droney space
I have to put on
documentary
something
that
I've
I
seen
already know
1,000
everything
times.
about, and I
Yeah.
just listen to it, and then it puts me to sleep.
Yeah. Do you guys know the show back from the 90s? It's called Dr. Katz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
John Lovitz?
Professional therapist.
No,
John
it's not.
Lovitz.
It's not John Lovitz.
No, it's not Lovitz.
That's the
It's,
critic.
Oh, it is, right.
It's Jonathan Katz.
It is Jonathan Katz.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
So I
great
listen
show.
to that whenever, because I've seen them all a million times,
Me too.
right? So I'll put that on if I'm wanting to try to fall asleep.
They're small little bites almost. They're like 10-minute little things. Oh, I love Dr. Katz.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, what's that guy's name who does Archer and he does Bob's Burgers? He's a voice actor.
Yeah.
The guy.
That was he's the son in
Oh, I did
Dr.
not
Katz.
know that.
Ben?
Katz.
That guy started
did
out
not
on
know
Home
That's
Movie.
Archer.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that guy started out on Home Movie.
That's good. I like that. I like home movies.
baby cakes. God, what is those two guys?
I don't know many people that know that.
That
Really?
is
It was on like
China,
WGN for a
Illinois.
while. And
Yeah, it was early Cartoon
Have you guys
Network
not-
type stuff.
yeah.
Do you guys know Baby Cakes or China, Illinois?
I've seen China.
Professor
I've seen China,
Brothers?
Illinois, yeah.
Yeah.
That's new to me.
That's
Oh my
That's
God.
an Adult Swim Cartoon
Yeah.
Network.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so funny. I love
I
Baby
didn't
Cakes.
see-
You know Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Oh yeah.
Squidbillies.
Oh yeah, Squid
I
Billies.
didn't
Space
never,
Ghost, Coast to Coast?
I
Oh,
love Space Ghost, but I
loved
didn't.
Space Ghost when I was a
Thing-
kid. When
Me
it-
too.
Things
Me too.
like Tim and Eric Awesome Show.
Yeah, I've never
or
really watched
even-
it.
I've seen China, Illinois. That type of humor is very boring
Well,
and bland to me.
China, Illinois isn't like the Professor Brothers. The Professor Brothers it's a lot better than just I don't know if that branched out or I'm not sure why. I think they made that one more palatable. China, Illinois. If you watch the Professor Brothers, it's a whole different thing.
I know
They've
what you're
got
talking about, but
songs
I've
on
ne-
it
yeah,
and stuff.
I
and
haven't watched
it's
it.
really good. But
Squidbillies, that's some good
I love
shit.
early Kyler. Like that's Unknown Henson.
yeah, I know.
He's all getting canceled right now because he's a mouthy guy.
Of course he is.
He says some of the most ate up fucking shit. Them womerns? Like, come on, man. You're gonna get canceled if you say the word womerns. It's meant to be demeaning. But people don't know that that's just a character.
Yeah, right.
Whoever does that,
That motherfucker don't talk like that.
whoever
Right.
does that voice for it, early is that?
Unknown Henson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's who it is.
Yep.
He has a lot of kin or spent a lot of time in
Kentucky?
Appalachian Hills. Yep, because nobody gets those accents right when they try to imitate them in Hollywood and everything.
me see
Nobody
it.
does.
Pull up
It can
YouTube
only be
for me.
natural. By God, that squid.
I'm
has
gonna
been down
show you
because
Unknown-
that is how they talk.
I'm gonna show you a song by Unknown Henson. It's
Yeah,
called
doesn't
Venus
he?
Bound.
Doesn't Unknown Henson? He usually has like a bag or something over his head, doesn't he?
There used to be a comic
No.
called The Unknown Comic.
Oh yeah, that was on the Gong
yeah.
Show.
Gong Show. Yep, yep.
Well, I love the Gong
A
Show!
lot of people say that was the guy from Taxi.
Norm, Andy.
Andy Rick.
The guy
Andy
that-
Kaufman.
The guy that
They
did.
say that's the Unknown
I
Comic,
love
'cause
Andy
they
Kaufman.
I've seen them.
Ooh, I'm about to go watch
I've
that
seen them
now.
side by side, and the Unknown Comic sounds damn.
Oh shit, it may be, man.
Yeah.
It may be. I love
He was
Andy
a trickster.
Kaufman.
Yeah, that's exactly something he was for.
I have an Andy Kaufman gene in me, dude. I totally do. I do shit because I think it's funny.
I didn't like Jim Carrey's movie.
You didn't? Oh, I loved it. I loved it. You ever seen it?
I like
Man on the Moon? I
Yeah,
love that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
well, I like Andy Kaufman.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had
All right.
Andy Kaufman's in my
This
DNA,
is
dude.
Unknown Henson. He's like a country troubadour.
Sounds like it.
We do not own the music to Unknown
You
Henson.
better turn it off though, because it will get the algorithm will pick it up.
You just mute it. Just mute it.
It's part 2.
I think you can play like 10 seconds of something or something without the algorithm
Yeah,
catching it.
okay. But yeah, dude, they modeled the character after the guy. The Squidbilly dude, they made it look like him on purpose. And then whenever they got rid of him for being a goofy motherfucker, and
Yeah.
they're like, they tried to get a new guy to voice him, and it just killed the
Yeah.
show.
Whether it's Kentucky or Tennessee, he comes from Holler, because that is the Holler accent.
I met
Let's see where he's
people-
from.
I met people just like him in Texas.
Texas is a
Unknown
bit different.
Henson's whereabouts. Where's he from?
Probably Hollywood.
Yeah, he's probably-
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Very redneck.
Ah.
Very
North
redneck.
Carolina would have been the other one. 'Cause it's-
But dude, that guy is fucking a whole world. You want to hear about some ate up shit? Go check out Unknown Ensign. That motherfucker's out there.
What I did do, I just knew Squidbillies was all I knew. Damn, it
Do
didn't
not
really-
can I steal one of your cigarettes? Do not touch the trio.
He quit touring after 17 years.
Yeah, because people were basically talking shit about him. He
Billy's
was like,
was
if
early
y'all
2012.
if y'all sons of bitches is gonna be ungrateful, I'm gonna stop playing music for you. Is basically what he said.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the last time I seen him, and that was when was Squidbillies? Would have been early 2000s, right?
Fuck.
Yeah, when did they quit?
I'm assuming 2010 or
Squidbillies
something like
run.
that. But yeah, I've met people just like Squidbillies. When I was in Texas, there was a guy named Captain Crackhead. And they called him that because his name was Kurt. And they thought it was Kirk. And he was a real bad crackhead. And he lived in a trailer with it was gutted. It was a gutted trailer. And the floor wasn't there. And he had his bed laying on the trusses of the trailer. And he's all like, man, it gets cold sometimes. And all them critters, the raccoons and the possums, I'll wake up and there'll be like 3 of them in bed with me. And I got to get on Cheryl, I got to tell Cheryl to get the broom and to like shoo them on out the road. He talked just like that guy did.
It
His
came out
girlfriend,
October
Cheryl,
16th, 2005.
Captain Crackhead, his old lady's name was Slot Machine Cheryl.
That sounds like a.
And she's the exact representation of the female Squidbilly that got the nails
Who's the
and the hair.
comedian? Who's the comedian that did
Real
little,
people, I swear to God.
redneck
No, yeah, I
comedian?
believe you.
Did little skits.
Granny
for,
was hilarious.
Foxworthy?
No.
None of them?
He wasn't as well known. He just died a couple of years ago. Donnie Baker. You never seen the Donnie Baker videos?
don't think
he's
so.
a funny son of a bitch too.
Let me see. I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, Donnie Baker. You'll dig Donnie Baker. But he's a comedian and he plays this sort of character.
Oh, hell yeah. I know him. Yeah, I know him. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah,
He talks
Grant.
about his neighbor. He's just had his phone up and he says, I'll tell you, I swear to God, my neighbor was over here, blah, blah. And just these zinger punchlines in every now and then with, God, I can't even do any Donnie Baker jokes there. Yeah, he's funny as fuck.
I guess we're landing the plane though.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
It's 9:30.
Yeah. No, it's 9:10.
That's bar time.
We didn't start at 5. We started
A little bit after.
after,
Yeah. If I didn't have to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning,
John
I'd go all
Stewart,
night.
Corova Art.
How you spell it? K-O-R.
RVOA.
Corova? So what? Should we
Yeah,
say the R and the V?
It comes from a Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
They drank their milk in the Corova milk.
Right on.
So I took it from there.
They're Malacca Plus.
Or Malacco. Malocco.
Peace. Till next time.
He is.
Rocky Cat.